Hello, it is Jack again, and welcome back to Anfield Agenda. This is the late night agenda, but it's not the late night, is it? It's not the evening even. So it's the late night agenda with a twist. No Craig today. Hopefully he will be back tomorrow. So you got to deal with me again. But fingers crossed. It's a good one today. I'm just going to run through what we'll be talking about news-wise, and then I've got a little ad read to do on Manscaped, and then I'll get into your questions having done the news, and I'll read out as many comments as possible as well. Hello to everyone who is saying hello to me in the chat. I can see Quinn just called me a beast. Let's have a look. And RSH14 says, hey, Jack. So thank you very much to everyone who is welcoming me. It's good to know that you're all happy to see me. And yes, let me read out the news then, the headlines for today. So, like I said yesterday, Liverpool have concrete interest in Harvey Barnes, but look set to miss out. I'll explain more on that in a moment. Doku price has been revealed. Liverpool are hopeful on Mohamed Salah's new contract, and Woodburn to be loaned out. So they are the little headlines we've got today. And before I get into that, and before I look at your comments, I will just read out a little bit on our sponsors today, Manscaped. So today's show is sponsored by Manscaped. Basically, they do this brilliant package. It's called the Performance Package 4.0. It's just launched in Europe. It includes the new Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant. So if you suffer from Betty Swallocks like I do, this is what you need. The Crop Reviver toner, the boxer briefs, and it also includes a travel bag. So there's no need to tell anyone that you're well groomed with Manscaped. You know, you'll have a little bag and you can keep it all in there. They also have a 4th generation trimmer, which features a cutting edge ceramic blade. It reduces grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. So it protects your balls. It's got a 7,000 RPM motor. It's got an on and off switch which can engage a travel lock. It's got 4000K LED spotlight that turns on and off when needed for a more precise shave. So not only do you get everything obviously well groomed, it also gets lit up and you can have your balls in the spotlight while you're shaving them. It's also waterproof. So listen, it just gets better and better. And if you're sold on this, like I was when Craig first read it out on an ad read when I did this show with him, you've got to go down below, click the link, manscaped.com. It will be in the it's not the bio, is it, the about section of the video, and use the code WFM20 on manscaped.com, and that gets you 20% off, and also includes free shipping on absolutely anything on their website, and your balls will thank you later. So yeah, make sure that you go and check that out for us. And now I can get on with the news, but before I do that, I'm just going to see what you lot are all saying. A lot of people asking about Craig. I've spoke to Craig a lot in the past 24 hours. He is good. Don't worry about him. He needed a break. He's done so much recently. He's taken a couple of days, and fingers crossed you will have both me and him at 8:45 tomorrow, but potentially not. But fingers crossed, all being well, you'll have the both of us tomorrow. But yeah, he's just taking a break. No need to worry. But it does mean you're going to have to deal with me. So let's hope that you enjoy this one today. So let's get into the news anyway. And I am going to start with a certain Harvey Barnes. And you know, I didn't mention this guy yesterday or anything. No, I did, didn't I? He was the one that I'd heard murmurs of in the past couple of days. And it seems like the Athletic have said today that what I said yesterday, really, that there is concrete interest in him, but he is likely to sign that contract with Leicester. Let me just read out this news article. So the article says, Liverpool have concrete interest in Harvey Barnes. This has been reported by The Athletic, but I've got it from Connor O'Neill in the Echo. He says that The Athletic have reported that Liverpool have concrete interest in Leicester City midfielder Harvey Barnes, a product of Leicester's academy, of course. Barnes was outstanding last season. He got an injury, though, at the end of the campaign, of course. He scored 13 goals and 4 assists in all competition, raised his profile in the process. Obviously, he's homegrown, so it would be a good signing for us. There are quite a few clubs chasing Harvey Barnes, though, so Leicester are trying to pin him down to a new deal, which I have heard that Harvey Barnes will sign. So listen, this guy is going to cost us an awful lot of money, and I can't see any chance of us signing him. But there is concrete interest, so that shows the caliber of player we're looking for, really, doesn't it? And I think he would be outstanding in a Klopp system. I really, really do. Homegrown, so that helps as well. We've struggled this summer trying to get rid of our non-homegrown players, haven't we? So yeah. That's the news on Harvey Barnes, that situation there. It looks like we won't be getting him. I can see a comment here on Craig. Somebody saying, has Craig joined Love Island? Unfortunately, though, Craig, I cannot say whether that is true or false. You're just going to have to, watch it tonight and find out, aren't you? But there's an elimination tonight, which usually means someone else is entering the villa. And can you imagine big Craig going in there and doing his thing? I hope he's been supplied with ball deodorant by Manscaped. That's all I'm saying. That will equip him for the villa. But we'll move on. Let's have a look. Triggerman says, we need to bring in a midfielder and a wide forward. Listen, mate, this is a new show. Tell us something we don't know already. Anything else? People saying the four main rumours that are going around I've seen are Doku, Sarr, Traore and Bowen. Which one would I want the most? I think Doku is the most likely one. Sarr is also likely, I think, but not this window. I think it'll be next window, if anything. Traore, I don't want. Bowen, I think he'd be good under Jurgen Klopp. So yeah, for me, I wouldn't mind Doku, Sarr or Bowen. But which one would I want the most? Probably Doku. Doku, I'd say. But moving on to the next piece of news for the day, and this is just broken, actually. This isn't one that we plan to speak about, but I have seen that apparently Xherdan Shaqiri and Joe Gomez were both missing from training today. I've also seen a picture of Andy Robertson back in training, which is really, really good news. Fingers crossed that means that he might be back for the game against Chelsea. But yeah, apparently Xherdan Shaqiri and Joe Gomez have missed training today. Joe Gomez apparently probably played in that friendly against Aston Villa on Sunday. So he may just be doing individual work. Xherdan Shaqiri, is it that he's close to finalising a move and therefore he's not in training? Or is it that he's injured? We know what he's like. He's made out of crackers. So it could be that he's injured. Or is he locked in Klopp's basement again? Who knows? Who knows? Could be either of the three. But yeah, we'll keep you posted with that as soon as I know any more. Of course, yesterday, Ben Davies finalised his loan move to Sheffield United. I know a lot of you are probably like, Ben Davies? Who is he? Exactly. I was one of the lucky people that got to see this man in the flesh at Anfield. So I can confirm that he is actually a real person. He does exist. He's not just someone that was made up to get us through the previous transfer window. But yeah, this man, you have to feel bad for him, don't you? Got a dream move from Preston. Probably thought he would, be pivotal for us through the end of the season with our injury problems at the back. But he picked up his own injury problems, and clearly he's been deemed as not good enough and sent packing. And he's gone to Sheffield United. So yeah, he does exist. And it'll actually be good to see him play maybe in the Championship. But yeah, clearly wasn't good enough for us. And the fact that he didn't play at the end of last season when we really were struggling for centre-backs, I think that shows everything that we need to say on him. Let's have a look. Anything else? Wade.Lee says, you're lying. I thought Ben Davies was a cartoon character. No, unfortunately. Well, no, not unfortunately. Or is it unfortunately? Who knows? Ben Davies is a cartoon character. It'd be interesting. Dabrowski says, Ben Davies, who is he exactly? God knows. I don't know whether maybe it was a secret deal. Maybe something's going on behind the scenes. Maybe we're trying to get Preston in the Premier League or something. So we thought we'd give them a bit of dough for him. I don't know. But yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Listen to Liz Golden. Hit that now. Anything else here? Dara Azizi says do that too. anything else in the comments as yet, or should I move on? Loads of stuff on Shaqiri and what I've just mentioned about him missing training today. Michael Rankin says, love Shaq, but hopefully it's a move. It's best for both sides. Completely agree. And it helps us out with getting rid of, a player who is not homegrown and helps us meet that quota ahead of, obviously, the final squad's being announced and hopefully mean that we bring someone in. News on Origi or Ox transfers out, and well, there is none. That's why I've not said it, mate. Let's have a look. Anything else? Charlie says Origi is a legend, but needs to go. Legend's an interesting word. Cult hero, I prefer to go with. Legend. Is he a legend? I'll let you lot decide that. Yeah, I'll let you lot decide. Is Origi a legend? Would you go as far as calling him a legend? Let me know. Let's have a look. Anything else? Brian says, keep it up, Jack. Us Copites have got your back. You're doing a cracking job. Thank you very much, mate. I really, really appreciate that. Dan B says, if it's going to be next summer, I'd rather invest in Bellingham. I completely and utterly agree. And as Craig would do, choo-choo. I am firmly on the Bellingham train, and I hope we will be getting him next summer. I think there'll be a lot of clubs after him next summer. He is a very, very good young talent, isn't he? But fingers crossed, we are firmly one of the clubs interested, because I would love Jude Bellingham at Liverpool. Next piece of news will be on a potential incoming this summer, and it is the man that I think is most likely to come in, other than probably Jared Bowen. It is Jeremy Doku, and Liverpool will have to fork out 50 million euros if we are to sign Jeremy Doku this summer. Apparently, this is according to Belgian journalist Sacha Tavolieri. I think I've said that right. Sacha Tavolieri. I don't know. But he's been speaking to the Anfield Central. Though about 24 have reported that Liverpool had scouts watching him at Euro 2020, which was actually Euro 2021. I don't know why people still call it Euro 2020, where he obviously featured against Finland and Italy, and they were suitably impressed. But according to Tavolieri, Liverpool aren't planning a bid at the moment. If they are, then it will need to be 50 million euros in order to tempt Rennes into selling their star man. So let me know what you think about that. 50 million euros, I think that's a decent fee for Doku. I think that was what I was kind of expecting us to have to pay to get him. Interesting that it says Liverpool aren't planning a bid right now. I'm also intrigued because I think even though we're trying to offload, these non-homegrown players, I'm wondering if, we're being linked with Bowen, we've been linked with Harvey Barnes. I'm wondering if we're looking at an English player to bring in before the end of the window. But yeah, if not, I think Doku would be a very, very good signing for us. I've said in previous videos that, I think he could be a really good replacement for Sadio Mane in years to come, and getting him in. He's still very, very young. I think it'll be a very good signing. It'll mean he can get, decent amount of game time, especially when the African Cup of Nations is on as well. And he can learn from Sadio Mane. And then in a couple of years when Mane's ready to move on, we're ready to move Mane on, then Doku will be ready and able to replace Sadio Mane. Let's have a look. There's this comment from Blackfire, which I'm going to put on the screen because it's really interesting. The people of today would go onto a video for a channel called Anfield Agenda, which is clearly going to be a video about Liverpool, just to comment this. Interesting. You're a bit of a knob, mate. But we'll move on. Wade Lee says, in Euros, he was a very exciting player. Absolutely. I think that's one of the things. He's a player that gets you on the edge of your seat, isn't he? And he's a player that obviously you can see he's a very, very talented player. You can see that there's room for improvement, but I think he would thrive under Jurgen Klopp. I really, really do. I think it'd be an outstanding signing. And he does remind me of Sadio Mane. I think he's very, very similar. For me, let's have a look. Zachary Chen says 50 mil is a bit of a risk, but if he has a breakout season for Rennes, his price could double. Completely and utterly agree with that. 35 is decent, not 50, says a boy no Thim. Let's have a look. A bargain for Doku, says Taj Howard. Anything else? I'm from Belgium myself, says Linko3. Well, maybe you can chat to Doku, mate, and persuade him to come. Sorry, came a bit late, but from what outlet is that reporter? I'm not sure, mate. I've got it from the Echo, but I can find that out for you. Sasha Tavilieri. It just says that he's a Belgium journalist, mate. So I have no idea on that. I'm just checking. I'm pretty sure he is 19, Jeremy Doku, but let me see. Someone's asked how old he is. Yes, he is 19. I've just double checked. So there he is for Adam Cusack, who asked how old he is. He's 19, mate. So there we go. Anything else here? Anything else in the comments? Somebody says, I think we need a new backup goalkeeper. I think Gallagher is good enough for now. I'm interested though with the fact that we have too many homegrown players. I'm very shocked that we re-signed Adrian when we came out at the time and said that Kelleher was now our number 2. It confuses me that. But yeah, it's interesting. You think we'd get a homegrown player to be our number 3. Very confusing for me. I'm not really, I don't really understand that. But yeah, Kelleher I think is a decent enough number 2. Beastery agrees with me. He says Kelleher is a machine. Very happy with him when he's played. Let's have a look at anyone else. Tom Presley says, I heard that he wouldn't count as a non-homegrown player because he is so young. Can he confirm? That's interesting. Potentially. I'm not quite sure. Maybe someone else can tell us that for sure. But yeah, I don't know. He might not, but who knows? Living Adventure says, is the Doku thing real or more rumours? It's real, mate. From what we know, he was shown around the club when he was 15. They're interested. So there's interest there, but whether it actually materialises, because we know these clubs have, several, clubs like Liverpool will have interest in several different players, will have numerous different options. So whether anything comes of it, we'll have to wait and see. But there is definitely interest from Liverpool in Jeremy Doku. Let's have a look. Any other comments? Lots of people saying, do you think we will sign someone this summer? And yes, I do think we'll have at least one incoming. A lot of people saying under 21s don't count. And yeah, I'd have said that, but I just wanted to be 100% sure. But here we have it from Conor Crosby himself, who never lies and gets everything spot on. And he says that under 21s don't have to be registered. I'm fairly sure. It's like that on Football Manager, so it must be, let's be honest. Anything else in the comments before I move on to another piece of news? Reece Clark says, who are we most likely to sign, Jack? Clearly, everyone saw my Harvey Barnes insight yesterday and thought that I know my stuff. But no, I don't have a Scooby, mate. I have absolutely no idea. And that's how Liverpool like it to be, don't we? We like it to be secret and they'll surprise us with someone. But I am very confident that Liverpool will bring at least one more signing in before the end of the window. But who? We're going to have to wait and see. Anything else? Any progress on Salah and Henderson's contract extensions? Now, it's interesting you say that. I thought Henderson would be announced at 8 o'clock this morning, but clearly not. Liverpool are clearly holding off on that. So, yeah, maybe that'll be 8 o'clock tomorrow or maybe tonight. We'll have to wait and see. But I was pretty sure that it would be announced today. And there is more news today on a new contract, and that is reported again in the Echo, but it comes from a report by Sunday World, and it says that Liverpool are hopeful that Mohamed Salah will commit his future to the football club, and that's according to reports by Sunday World. Obviously, the Egyptian enjoyed a great start to the season against Norwich at the weekend when he scored and got 2 assists, and it's fueled speculation over a new deal due to that standout display. Obviously, we've seen new contracts already for Alisson, Trent, Fabinho, and of course Henderson's on the way as well. So fingers crossed we can get the Mo one over the line too, and that would be absolutely incredible to tie him down to a new long-term deal. I think would be hugely important to this football club. We've seen the importance of Mohamed Salah. I think he's a player that will be incredibly hard to replace. He's a player that really suits Klopp's system. He's a player that everyone thought would be a one-season wonder, but he's a 5-season wonder now, and he's just phenomenal. One of the best players in the Premier League, one of the best at what he does in Europe, and he's just phenomenal. And he gets better and better, doesn't he? And when opposition fans think that the next season will be the one where he falls off, he proves them wrong time and time and time again. So, yeah, Mohamed Salah, great player, and I cannot wait for him to sign. And I'm confident that he will sign a new long-term deal with this football club. And let me go into the comments to let you know what you lot are thinking again. Ben Mole is shouting at me. He's saying, what is Doku price? 50 million euros is what we have been quoted, and that is from a Belgian journalist. And Excited Last also asked, so there you go. It's clearly popular. A lot of people want Doku. A lot of people want to know what price it is. Maybe we can set up a GoFundMe page for FSG to help them get something on the line before the end of the window. Let's have a look. CD Prasad says, does Liverpool still need to sign a striker? I think they need it. Your thoughts, Jack? And Jack, you're doing great work under the unappearance of Craig. Love it. Keep going, mate. Thank you, CD Prasad. Do we need to sign a striker? I would say that we needed an out-and-out 9. Yes, that I would personally. But it doesn't seem like we're getting one. Everyone we're linked with that is a forward is a winger. So, it seems like Jurgen Klopp doesn't want an out-and-out 9, and therefore I trust him. But yes, thank you for the rest of your comments, man. And as I say, hopefully you'll have 2 for the price of 1 tomorrow, because Craig is hoping to be back tomorrow. So there we go. Hopefully you'll have both me and him at 8:45 tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that one. And hopefully we have some good news as well. Hope we do. So, fingers crossed for that one. Thomas Raymond says, Vlahovic. Yeah, but it's all gone quiet on that one, hasn't it? It was like a week's worth of rumours on him, and then it just went absolutely silent. Not heard anything since. So, yeah, I don't know what that's about. Dabrowski Plays says, Doku is 50 million euros, not pounds. 50 million euros is 46,631,000 Great British pounds. Thank you, Dabrowski Plays, for that, because I didn't want to have to do the maths. So in black and a white background. Do you think Divock will leave this summer? I think he will on loan. That's my shout. Late in the window, I think after we've signed a forward player, Divock will go out on loan. Dan Beza says, I think Bobby is going to have a great season, Jack. What do you think? I hope so. It's great with fans back as well. We'll get to hear his chant more often, and we know he plays better with that chant on. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Him and Mane had a bit of a disappointing season last year, didn't they? So, yeah, it would be great for him to have a top season, and the same with Mane. And, he did very well in that friendly against Osasuna, bagged himself a brace. Bobby did, of course, and then he scored at the weekend after coming off the bench. So, yeah, fingers crossed he can be an important player for us this season. Carl Fu says, we should sign Doku and Sual, but I'm assuming he means Saul. I do think we need a forward player and a midfielder, but I think we'll only sign one player before the end of the window. That's just me, and I think we'll sign a forward. I think Klopp is happy with the fact that we have Curtis Jones and also Harvey Elliott as options in central midfield. I think it was very interesting as well that Kay Gordon didn't play the under-23s game at the weekend and instead played on Sunday in that behind closed doors friendly against Aston Villa. I think that shows that he's going to be in and around the first team this season too. So that's very interesting as well. What does this say? Anything else? Who do we buy next season? Who do we prioritise? Next season is a long way away, mate. Let's focus and now first. We've got a league to win before we talk about next season. Tadka says, Ivan Toney personally would be an amazing striker if FSG don't get one this year, and he will be a great choice for next season as he an amazing goal scorer and will have experience in the Prem. Yeah, let's see how he does first. I was really impressed with Ivan Toney against Arsenal. Not just, I think Ivan Toney showed then that it's not just his talent in front of goal that's impressive. It's the fact that the work he does off the ball as well. He's a real workhorse, a real talent. I was lucky enough to speak to the Peterborough chairman at the beginning of the year, Darren McAntony, about Ivan Toney, and he absolutely raved about him then. And ever since then, I've had my eye on Ivan Toney, and he is a very, very good striker and would be interesting if we bring him in. But yeah, I can't see it happening. I really can't. But he would be a decent signing. But let's wait and see how he does in the Premier League this season first. Cusack says Origi and Ivan Toney swap deal. No way they do that at all. Zayn Hanif, he says 6'9" striker from non-league is interested by Man City. Yes, one of my mates plays for Solihull Moors with Carl Hudlin, who plays for the Moors, of course. And yeah, it would be mad. It just shows that it just shows that it's doable. We saw the rise of Jamie Vardy. And I think it would be brilliant for Carl Hudlin too. I've been able to watch him play from when I go and watch mate, and he's a real menace due to his height. And clearly Man City have seen something they like. He's also been, there's also interest from League One clubs such as Sheffield Wednesday I've seen. But the Man City interest seems to have come completely out of the blue, hasn't it, in the last couple of days? But I believe it's been reported by The Athletic. So I trust it, and it would be mad if that comes up. And as I say, it gives, it shows that it can be done. You can make it from being a player in the conference. It only takes interest from one top club, and then you'll be there. You'll be up there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see if anything does materialise from that. A few people are saying that I am lagging, so I apologise. I hope that it sorts itself out. It should do. So yeah, fingers crossed that it. A lot of people saying that I am lagging, so let me just turn my Wi-Fi off and now and go on data. There we go. Hopefully that's okay. If you can let me know whether that's okay or not. But fingers crossed that's got better. Anything else in the comments? Here's a bit of a thing for you. So Michael Rankin says, Jack, are you excited for cup games this season with all the young talent coming through? Yes, I am. And there's a bit more news on that. I don't know if any of you were on the stream the other day, but I spoke to Craig today and I will be joining him for watch-alongs this season on the domestic cup games, so the FA Cup games and the Carabao Cup games. I will be doing a duo watch along with Craig, just like he does on That's Football with Mark Goldbridge. So there's a piece of news for you. So fingers crossed, there are quite a few youngsters that play in the cup games, and therefore I'll be there to tell you all about them. And if there's not, then I'll enjoy watching the game with Craig, and we'll enjoy you lot in the comments. And hopefully Liverpool can go far in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup this season. Let's compete in every trophy that we possibly can, and let's try and win everything, because why the fuck not? Let's have a look. RSH14 reacting to that news says, that's great, seeing as you know a lot about the young players. Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest, to do them games with Craig. And let's have a look. A lot of people say my connection's way better now. Thank you for that. Anything else? Ben, who will be Liverpool's next big money signing? You're doing great, by the way. Interesting. I must have changed my name halfway through this, but fair enough, mate. J Monkey 47, that is. Who do I think will be our next big money signing? I have a feeling. I have a feeling about Jude Bellingham, and I just think it'd be outstanding to hear "Hey Jude" on the cup. Let's be honest. So for me, yeah, I'm all about Jude. Let's go. Hey Jude, come on, join us. Anything else? Sunny Lally says, Jack, do you think really slows down City fast-paced football? No, I think this is ridiculous. I think this is a typical English football fan and English media thing. People tried to do the same with Thiago when he joined us. It's nonsense. It takes time for players to settle. It's as simple as that. Grealish is world class. Grealish will settle there absolutely fine. And these things take time. It's as simple as that. But yeah, the English media will try and put him down because he's worth 100 million. English football fans will try and put him down because he's a Man City player. But yeah, he's world class, and they've bagged themselves a class signing. It's as simple as that. But I'm happy to see them lose like they did at the weekend. Anything else in the comments? Connor Crosby. Connor, of course, says, if anyone has any questions about any of our youth players, Jack is your man. I am. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed you have some questions for me on them, because there's quite a few youngsters that I've got my eye on this season for Liverpool that I hope will do well. Cade Gordon is one that I'm hoping will get some first team minutes in these cup games. Harvey Elliott is one that I think will get a lot of first team minutes this season. Curtis Jones, of course, as well. He's he's a proper first team player now. And of course, there's Leighton Stewart coming back from injury for this season. Pau Glatzel as well, back in there. Leighton Clarkson going to Blackburn on loan. I'm really, really, really happy to see that. I think him getting a full season in the Championship, playing first team football, is outstanding. I think he's a class player, Leighton Clarkson. I really, really rate him. Really do. Anything else here? Connor Bradley to get more minutes this season, says Dylan McGurk. Yes, I think so, but it depends on Nico Williams. If Nico goes out on loan or goes out permanently, then he will. But if Nico stays, then he won't, because Trent's the best right back in the world. Unless he is absent, then I can't see Connor Bradley getting too many minutes, and even if he is absent, I think Nico will play instead of him unless he goes. But yeah, I think we might try and keep Nico now after what he did against Villa in that behind closed doors friendly. But yeah, really, really impressive. Connor Bradley, a good young talent. I like Owen Beck as well, who is, of course, if you didn't know, I believe Owen Beck is the nephew of Ian Rush. I might be making that up, but I'm pretty sure it's true. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. So there you go. And thoughts on Ben Woodburn to Hearts. Now, I didn't actually know this, but that's the piece of news that that I have seen, that might be happening on a loan deal. I think that might be a good move for him, but we'll have to wait and see. I saw the other week that there are loads of clubs from different countries interested in Ben Woodburn. He only has a year left, so if he goes out on loan, will he sign a new deal before he goes? He's been in and around, obviously, the squad for pre-season, but is that just us trying to keep him sweet so he signs a new deal? On the bench, of course, at the weekend against Norwich as well. So yeah, going to be interesting to see what happens with Ben Woodburn. Obviously, nothing's been confirmed yet, so we don't know. But yeah, we'll have to keep we'll have to keep you updated with that one. I'm struggling to keep my words out there. But yeah, Hearts want him alone. I think him going to the Scottish Premier League won't do too much for his growth. But I think I think a loan move suits him better. Obviously, he's tried a good couple of loan moves in the last couple of years, but he's had a few injury problems. I was really hoping to see him do well last year when he went to Blackpool on loan for the first half of the season with Neil Critchley, but he picked up an injury, came back early, and yeah, it wasn't ideal. But if he does go out on loan again, I'm hoping that he has a great season with whoever he goes out on, and it'll raise his price, because I honestly don't think he has a future at this football club, unfortunately, which is a real shame, because at one point he looked like a real talent, and at times I think he looks brilliant still, and there was a couple of times in pre-season where he looks like a player, but is he good enough for Liverpool? I don't think so. Josh Crouch says, I like Bowen, but I hope it's not a deadline day panic signing like before. Well, let's be honest, it's been reported all summer, so it wouldn't be a panic signing. It's just we have to get rid of players before we bring them in. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think he would cost us a lot more money if we leave him till late in the window, purely because he is an important player for West Ham. So if they're going to lose him, they're going to want a significant fee in order to replace him before the end of the window. So the later we leave it, the more expensive I think he will be. David Hayden says, worried Craig might have gone to Paris to kidnap Mbappe. Well, that's why we can't tell you where he is, mate, because they're in talks. So he's gone. He's actually gone to go to the Love Island villa, but he's going via Paris to smuggle Mbappe, in his case, with him. He's going to leave him in there throughout the whole of Love Island, and then he's going to bring him back. And can you imagine the ad deals that Craig would get if he was on Love Island? He's already bagged this Manscaped one. Imagine if he was on there. Wow, there you go. Anything else? Krish B. Could you see Barca going for Salah after they sort their financial issues? No. We are going to tie him down to a long-term deal. Barca are absolutely skint. Their financial issues are ridiculous. They're a mess. They're a state. We ruined them. And Genie dodged a bullet by ending up going to PSG. So no, Barca are a banter club now. No chance. What else is going here? Anything else here? Will you stream Bayern Munich versus Dortmund? Don't think so, mate. That's tonight, though, isn't it? I won't be. No, I'm going to a League One match tonight, actually. And for anyone who can predict which League One match I'm going to, I'll read it out. So there you go. Let's see. That's a bit of a challenge for you to see who you lot think I will be going to watch tonight. Leighton Robertson says Kelleher is class, underrated. Interesting. I don't think we've seen enough of him to call him class. I think he's a good keeper. I think he's a good understudy to Alisson. He's still very young, of course, as well. And he's learning from one of the best in the world in Alisson Becker. So there you go. Thomas Smith says, I like Tsimikas going forwards, but not sure about him defensively. Yeah, he was out of position a lot, wasn't he, at the weekend? But he'll only grow. It was his first Premier League start. Patience. Patience is a virtue, as my nan always says. So there you go. Anything else? Massive Huna has got it spot on. There you go. I'm going to Aki Stanley versus Doncaster Rovers tonight. That's what I am doing this evening. Anything else here? He's kind of going on the Masked Singer. This is getting ridiculous now. Salah will stay until he's 32, says Josh Crouch. Interesting. Where do you think he'll go when he's 32? Interesting. You seem to be insightful, Josh. Anything else? What part of England am I from, says Tom Raymond. I am from near Birmingham. It's a place called Lichfield. I don't know if anyone knows of it, but I was at uni in Manchester and I'm looking to move up to Liverpool because I'm probably going to be working there. So yeah, fingers crossed I'll be living in Liverpool soon. So there we go. Will Craig stream the game? Ask him. Chris Stokes, no, he won't be streaming tonight, mate. He's having a couple of days off, as we keep saying. Here we go. This is a comment that I'm on board with. It's from David Hayden, and it is on Pedri. Now, this kid, fair play to him because he's a workhorse, isn't he? He's played, I think it's like 9,000 games in the last year. Clearly, it's not 9,000, but he's played a lot. He had no preseason whatsoever because he was part of the Euros, then he was at the Olympics, and then he had a week break, I think, and then he's back with Barca and played their first game of the season. He looks a real talent. He was outstanding in the Euros, really, really impressive, and yeah. That's the one thing that will hold Barca together. The academy they've got, obviously La Masia, Pedri, great talent, and I've really if I was FSG, I'd put a sneaky bid in. We know they're desperate for cash. Why not? They'll be desperate to keep him, but they may not have an option. So let's have a look. Anything else? Joe Day says, if you could sign a midfielder, then who would you pick? If I'm being not realistic for this summer and just saying who I want, then I'd go Mr. Jude Bellingham. If I am being realistic, I would say Renato Sanchez. That's for me. Martinez from Inter is the one for us. This is an interesting one because I really want it. I really want this guy. It seems like he'll be available on a cut price deal. It seems like Inter Milan are also skint and desperate for cash. They're trying to offload a load of players, and it seems like the 100 million they've just banked from Chelsea ain't enough. But it doesn't seem like we're interested, and it seems like Tottenham and Arsenal really are. And maybe he'll join one of them. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. Let's have a look. Anything else here? There's a few people. I'm not even going to bother putting your comments on the screen. There's a few people saying things about Craig in the comments. Listen, you're watching his channel. If you're going to put stuff that is disrespectful and hate in the comments of this, then just literally just jog on and watch another video because we don't care. You're literally supplying the channel with views. So keep on coming back, keep on putting that, and you just make yourself look like an absolute tit. So yeah, go on, keep it up, but you'll look like an absolute tosser every single time you do it. So yeah, probably avoid that, but cheers for the views, guys. Anything else that says here? What about Billy Gilmore for Chelsea? He's obviously just joined Norwich on loan. I think he's a real talent. Klopp called him the best talent that's come out of Scotland for the last 50 years or something, which I think is a big statement, particularly when Andy Robbo obviously plays for us. But yeah, he is a real star in the making, Billy Gilmore. We saw his performance for Scotland against England. He absolutely ran the game. And I think he's going to be an important player for Norwich this season if they're going to stay up. Anything else? Washi says, Elliot is pure class. We just need to play him some more for him to show it. We will do, mate. We absolutely will. He'll have a lot more game time this season. So that is going to, that's going to be good to see. And hopefully he can have his breakthrough season this year. Anything else here? Thoughts on Nat Phillips, says B1. I think we have to cash in this year because I think it is going to be the most money that we will get for him. I don't think he'll get anywhere near the minutes he had last season. I think he is good enough to play for a Premier League club week in, week out, someone like Southampton. I think Southampton will be looking at him to replace Vestergaard. I also think they'll be looking at other centre-backs such as I've heard Tosin from Fulham, of course, and who was the other one? There's Ethan Ampadu. But yeah, if I was them, I'd be all over Nat Phillips. You know, I think he could do I think he could put a shift in for a club like Southampton. He's outstanding in the air. He's a real physical player. He seems like the perfect fit for a club like Burnley, doesn't he? But yeah, that's what I think on Phillips. Anything else? Anything else before I go? Josh Hazelden says, Haaland to Liverpool, how amazing would that be? Hope you're good, Jack. Up the Reds and up the agenda. Thank you, first of all, Josh. And secondly, yes, I have seen that. I have seen that link with Haaland today. I think it's nonsense. I don't think we will be interested in Haaland purely because Mino Raiola is his agent. Obviously, everyone in Europe would be interested in bringing Haaland in, but because he's got Raiola, we would have to play we would have to pay an astronomical agent fee. I just can't see it happening. But with the links we're getting at the minute, Mbappe yesterday, Haaland today, it seems like our PR team is really doing its best at the minute to push everything out it can. But yeah, it comes from the Mirror, this one, and it says that the article's headline is Erling Haaland has been tipped for Liverpool transfer after best ever prediction. And apparently we are the front runners to pull off a sensational transfer for Borussia Dortmund phenomenon, Erling Haaland. So yeah, I don't think there's anything in this. As I said, we'd be stupid not to be interested in Haaland, but do I think we'll pay the money? No chance. Craig has also messaged me, which means he is watching this. So hello, Craig. Hope you're doing well, mate. He says Renato is out with a knee injury. So yeah, I don't know how long he's out for. He probably picked that up at the weekend. But yeah, that probably rules that one out. So in that case, all aboard the Saul train, choo-choo. But no, I don't think that. I personally do not think we will sign a midfielder this year. I can't see it. I think it'll be next summer. I think it'll be Jude. That's my prediction. Anything else? 6 weeks apparently he is out for. A big blow, and I assume that's a good thing for Lille, because that means they'll be keeping him probably. So yeah, probably ruled out of that one. McQuack says, what do you think of Balagizi? Absolute baller, mate. Really is. I said, before last season, I hardly saw any of him because, he couldn't really get a rhythm. There were constant injury problems that, marred his progress. Last season, you saw him perform week in, week out. Oh, what a player. What a player. I think he's going to be a quality player in the future for me. McQuack thinks he's ready for the first team. I think he'll definitely be an option for the Cup squad this season. I really do. I don't think he's ready quite yet though. Dara Azizi says, who's your favourite player of all time? Jack. Gerrard was my hero growing up. Also, Suarez has got to be up there. Yeah, Van Dijk's up there as well for me. So yeah, there we go. There's a lot of love for Craig in the comments now, which is lovely to see. As I say, he will be watching. So, Beast Ari says we're holding off on a midfielder this summer for Bellingham next year. I really, really hope so. I really do. Russell Stubley wants Edouard and Barnes. Let's have a look. Anything else? Beast Ari says Torres was the guy who got me into football. Bernadette says, please give Jack a like. Guys, yes, please do spam that like button. And as I say, hopefully me and Craig will be doing this as a duo tomorrow. I cannot wait for that. But if not, then I'll do it alone tomorrow. And then when Craig is back, we'll make sure the first one we do with Craig back will be a duo. But yeah, he's taken a well-earned break because he works his arse off. Or should I say works his balls off. And that's where I'm going to end this with a little plug for our sponsors for this video, Manscaped. So yeah, it's a good job he uses that ball deodorant because he probably has Betty Swallocks with all the work he does. But yeah, that's how I'm ending this video, a very suspect way. Please make sure no one clips that up. But yes, thank you for joining me. A lot of people, sorry, before I go, I'm just going to answer this one from B1 who asks about Musialowski. Why wasn't he at pre-season? Simple answer, mate, and not many people know this, but unfortunately he was injured, and it's a real shame because he would have been a star of pre-season. He would have got a lot of minutes, I think, in pre-season. He would have impressed a lot of people. So yeah, his injury just came at a difficult time. But yeah, that's where I'm ending it. Thank you very, very much for joining me for this one, guys. I've really enjoyed doing these the last couple of days, and sorry that I've had to come to you a lot earlier than you are used to with the usual late night agendas from Craig. But I will be here tomorrow at 8:45, hopefully alongside Craig, for tomorrow's video. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate the comments on yesterday's video, guys, as well. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We shall see you very soon. Up the Reds, and ta-ra.